All right, we're good now.
Rolling now. Wonderful. After an hour of sitting here, you choosing a background, then choosing not to use it.
Yeah.
We're here now. And welcome.
Yes. Yeah.
So, what have you been doing today, Eric?
Oh, just
Gravity
like,
Falls?
huh?
Did you finish Gravity Falls?
Yeah, I finished Gravity Falls last week
Ooh.
with
What
Keon.
were, what were your thoughts on the finale?
Um, I feel like it's surprising how like the last few episodes progressed because I almost I was like, how do they have time for this?
Yeah.
Like I was like, how are they gonna wrap this up? Because it's like Bill, introduces Weird Mageddon and all that stuff. I'm like, there are like 3 episodes left, bro. Like, what's happening here?
Yeah, exactly.
And of course, the last episode was 40 minutes, so they kind of cheated. Well, not cheated, but you know what I mean. They like
Yeah.
doubled up there. But it's like I was definitely surprised by like the fact they were able to like wrap it up. But then I was just kind of like, oh, like it's over.
Yeah. I'd say it's a very unsatisfying conclusion because, like, you want to know so much more about, like, the people and the Gravity Falls itself and, like, how they do afterwards. And like they keep teasing spin-offs and they keep teasing like another season or whatever or like stuff like that. But I think Alex Hirsch is just done with it and he's
Uh,
just yeah.
yeah, I don't even know. Like, I didn't really look into like any like sequel or follow up stuff.
Yeah, there was a like especially as soon as it ended, there was a bunch of just like, rumors flying around and just a bunch of just kind of BS just flying around
Mhm.
about are they gonna bring back like a sequel series or a spin-off or like anything like that. There are a bunch of rumors, just like there are rumors about bringing back like Avatar every year. It's
Yeah,
like, all right, another Avatar series that's never going to come out. We just mention it.
yeah. The only thing about Gravity Falls is it's like I feel like it works really well as like the one off story it was.
Yeah,
If I could stop yawning for like 2 seconds, but like because it was that summer, like it served the purpose of like telling the story they wanted to tell,
yeah,
and it's like I feel like they could make like a freaking they could almost do like a gravity like they could easily say Gravity Falls Part Two,
yeah,
and it's just like Gravity Falls, but 2 years in the future, 1 year in the future.
yeah.
But it's like yeah, it's like the whole thing of if they actually wanted to.
I don't think Alex Hirsch wants to, and I want if they were to bring it back in any way, in any capacity, I wouldn't want them to follow like Dipper and Mabel again.
What?
I like a series about Ford and Stan going and like doing their own thing and going on their own adventure, and maybe make it a bit more mature for the growing audience. It's like I was 10 to maybe like 12 when I
Mm-hmm.
watched that show. And
Yeah.
like now I'm 19 and maybe you could do a bit more mature show, not like adult, like blood and gore and
Yeah.
cursing, just like standing forward doing their own thing to make it a bit more mature.
Yeah.
Like 'cause they paired up and like we're saying, oh, we're gonna go on our own adventure after this series is finished. And they were kind of like teasing like a sequel series, but it never came to fruition, I guess.
Yeah, I see that. It's like with the oh man. God. If with the you said sequel show. Yeah. I just think it's one of those things. It's like when they finish up a show, like it's like the ending is never fun or like I feel like as satisfying as it should be. Like I can't think of a time where I was really satisfied with the show's ending.
Bojack Horseman? Question mark.
No, I was like, I need more story. Like I understood
Oh,
why it had like I was like because if you stretch it too long, it becomes bad eventually. Like the writing would get lazy or it might become monotonous in the storytelling, you know.
Yeah.
But it's like in reality, I never like when shows end. I'm one of those people who's always like, oh no, like the ending kind of sucked, and even if the ending doesn't suck, it's like it's just over, and I'm like, well, that sucks.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of get that, but like there are some shows that just the creators, you know that they told the story they wanted to tell, and you know that like it's a natural ending. I didn't feel that way with Gravity Falls.
Mhm.
I felt like there could have been a third season.
Yeah,
It's kind of like smushed it into two, and then they rushed the finale for it.
yeah, I did feel. Excuse me, the finale did feel a bit rushed, only
Yeah.
because I felt like there was so much they could have done with like Bill.
Yeah.
And like I mean all of his and it's like all of his other friends like got essentially no like screen time. Like it was like they're all super cool, like freaking like demons in their own right, but like
Yeah.
not really though. Like they're just like his henchmen, you know.
Yeah. I mean, like, who else lives in the reality of Bill? Like, who else interacts with Bill? Like
Yeah,
that.
or even
Was
what I think they super underdevelop is where the heck Ford was and what he was doing.
Yeah, they
They
really. They,
they straight up don't address it. Like they're just like he was gone, but he there's never a point when he's like this is kind of generally what I was doing. They don't even give the gist. Like he just keeps saying I saw a lot of stuff or I did a lot of stuff, but he never says where he was explicitly or like what he was doing.
that they reveal that in. Hold up. Okay, they reveal some of that in. Give me a sec. I'll show you what they reveal in this.
Oh.
They reveal some of it. He was basically just adventuring across dimensions,
Mm-hmm.
and he just mentions going on adventures with Rick from Rick and Morty, some, and like they go into it. I haven't read this whole book, obviously, but
Mm-hmm.
they go into it a bit. Like, see, just random open like the Nightmare Realm, and there he is,
Yeah.
Nightmare thing. Like he does stuff, but you have to buy stuff. Like,
Yeah. I'm saying it's like, they don't include it in the show. They don't give it like any time.
yeah, they really don't. I think they were, I don't know, they're kind of lazy in that, but essentially it was just going around with some with Rick and some just like adventuring around doing
Yeah.
his own.
I just think it's one of those things where it's like there's like a there was genuinely so much there. Like there's like so much, and that's the thing about Gravity Falls versus like I know Steven Universe are totally different kinds of shows,
Yeah.
but they're the two that I've watched like most recently. And like with Steven Universe's ending, you could genuinely say like this makes sense,
Dude,
huh?
why is my thing little pee pee man? God,
What are you talking?
did you do that? Was
Garrett,
that
listen,
what you're trying to figure out how to change my name to little pee pee man?
Garrett, listen.
Seriously.
I'll change it. I'll change it back, Garrett.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Little pee
Yeah.
pee man. That's hilarious. I just noticed that.
Yeah.
Big
Right.
Rick. Really hit me where I
Bad
hurt.
dog.
But no. Anyway, keep going with your mute point because JK it big. There you go. Big meat
Yeah.
game. No little meat game here. All right.
But yeah, so yeah, with Steven Universe, like it made sense for it to end. It's like you gave us 5 seasons, a movie,
Mm-hmm.
and a sequel series. I understand. Like I didn't want it to end, but it's like Steven, like they beat all the bad guys. Like they're like, oh, you're like a bad guy. Give me them cheeks, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
It's like once you like beat all the bad guys, you save everyone. In fact, they even say, I think it's kind of funny. He references in the song for Steven Universe Future. They're like, we saved, like, I don't remember what he says, but they're like, we saved the world. As a matter of fact, the whole galaxy saved. We did it. And it's like, Yeah, like yeah, you literally saved everything and everyone from like because the gems were like the threat.
Hmm.
They were like the intergalactic threat, and they got dealt with. So it was kind of just like the end, you know.
Yeah,
And it's like Steven had like dealt with his demons a little bit because that was the whole thing. Everyone had said, "Oh, like, we want Steven to like deal with his demons and his trauma." No cap. I was like, honestly, like I was wondering what Future was going to be about,
yeah,
because in the movie, like, well, that's what you think in the movie. Because in the song, they start out singing about how everything's saved and everything's awesome.
everything is awesome.
Yeah, essentially. And then it becomes a thing of what does it become a thing of?
I don't know. I haven't watched the show or the movie or the sequel
Yeah.
series.
Okay, it becomes a thing of like him dealing with this like character that was never even mentioned in the whole like 5 seasons of the show.
Yeah,
Just like a new antagonist. But they deal with that during the movie, and then he's like, okay, I know there's a sequel series. What the freak is that about?
yeah,
And it's about like him like dealing with like essentially the like baggage that came with growing up, living, like the weirdness of being like a normal, essentially human kid growing up with these like aliens, with like magical powers and stuff who fight and like, risk their lives and like nearly die many times and all that stuff.
yeah,
And it's kind of like they go for that whole angle. And I feel like with Gravity Falls, it's built in a very real world. I
yeah,
mean, aside from like all of the freaking obvious like stuff,
yeah,
like Mabel and Dipper are both like in school, they're on summer vacation. It gives a finality to like the storyline.
yeah. It cuts it off after they're done with summer. Summer's
Yeah,
over.
exactly.
Yeah. But like,
And I will say though, I did think it was once again, I was like, realistically, if you go anywhere where there's magic and like you could go like you get questing, you meet a unicorn, you get put in a freaking dimensional prison, you do all this lit stuff, and you're just like back to school. I'm like,
yeah,
that's such cap. That's such cap. Like, come on.
it definitely sets up a weird universe where like Dipper and Maple are so emotionally and like mentally okay with all this magical stuff being
Yeah.
in this world when they just go back to like I guess
Normal life. Yeah.
they're just like, all right, eighth grade now. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go
And
Miss
Mabel
Johnson.
doesn't even have waddles anymore. Like the freak is that?
What do you say?
And Mabel just doesn't have waddles.
Yeah,
Probably doesn't use her grappling hook anymore. Like it's I think it's kind of the whole idea of like the hero being done.
yeah,
But it's like in reality, well, and that's the thing, in reality, but there's
reality.
no real hero like that. But for instance, like Percy Jackson, and like Heroes of Olympus, like all that stuff. But Percy Jackson, right?
Yeah,
You know of it. And
I know. Yeah,
Percy, so there's a sequel series called Heroes of Olympus.
yeah, I've heard you talk about it.
But then there's like a spin-off series called about the other guy named Magnus Chase.
Yeah,
And during that time, the time of Magnus Chase being like the main character, Percy's like going to college and like living a normal life. And like, Magnus is all like fighting half trolls and like trying to save the world, prevent Ragnarok. And
yeah,
Percy's all like, oh yeah, I remember when I saved the world. Now I'm in college.
yeah. Now it's time for block 4, and I'm just like, oh man,
Yeah,
microeconomics again. Wow.
exactly. It's like you go from like, having this pen that turns into a sword, that you use to kill freaking monsters that come back from the underworld. You've talked to gods, you've like done all this crazy stuff. You've been to the
Yeah.
underworld. You've literally been to Tartarus. You've seen the undead. You like have all this stuff, and then you're like, now for like freaking, economics
Now to get it.
101, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, exactly. Now to get a degree to better my future.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's like it's such crap. I just think it's lame. It's kind of like I think different fantasy IPs have done better than others.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, in Harry Potter, it's like there's so much like mystery and like whimsicalness and like awesomeness surrounding Hogwarts.
Yeah.
But then you look at the parents and they're like, yeah, we don't actually do magic. Like, we just kind of, we just chill. We
Yeah.
try to like live normal lives and stuff. And I'm just like, so you go to wizard college
Yeah.
or you go to wizard high school. You spend all these years learning all this magic to go and live like a normal person.
I mean, to be fair, that's like how school is in real life too. Like you go and you're studying like business or something, and you study business and you learn all these tricks of the trade and everything, and then you go and you end up being like, I don't know, something entirely different. I don't know what that could be. Like, just don't use your degree or whatever. I bet it's the same way because once you get past the fact, oh, you're gone.
I'm here. I'm here.
Once you get past the fact that it's like, oh, wizards are real, like sorcery is real, like wow, that's so crazy. Like Merlin was real. That's so insane. And then you just kind of go past that after like year one. And then year two, you're just like, I'm just trying to get to my classroom. Why are all these staircases like shifting around and stuff? But this is so annoying. And I bet by the end of it, you're just like, yeah, magic's real. I don't care. I just want to be a lawyer or whatever
Yeah.
they like. You know, I bet like, it's just like you just kind of get over the fact that you're a wizard after a while. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
I can make stuff levitate and cast a spell, but I was never very good in school, so I'm just gonna go be a lawyer,
Yeah.
like not brew any potions or do anything like that.
Yeah. I just think it's sad. It's like, it's kind of like it's like the inevitability of like normal, monotonous life, you know?
Yeah, even with wizards and everything, they're still just like, yeah, you're gonna live like a normal, boring life. Just because the wizards are real doesn't mean you change your entire lifestyle.
Yeah. Which it's just so underwhelming. And that's why I like, it's like, how do you find that balance, you know?
Yeah,
Like, for instance, I think it's the same thing with Narnia, stuff like that.
yeah,
I'm like, you're literally royalty in Narnia. Like, you're like, you're a prince. You're a, whatever. You're like, everyone in that family is like royalty.
yeah,
You know, one of them was like the king. The other ones were like the princes or whatever you want to call it.
yeah,
And they're really just like, well, back through the wardrobe. Like,
yeah.
I'm like, here, you could have like all of the spoils of being royalty. Like, you go
Okay.
back to normal life,
Yeah,
you can literally be like a common person in like World War, was it one or two, England?
I don't know.
Like, oh, I love being a normal person. Like, and like, you had a sword, all right? A talking lion crowned you king. And you're like, you know where I want to go? Back to Europe.
Yeah, I feel like it's the same way with any property that tries to bring fantasy into the real world. It's still the real world. Like with superheroes being introduced to the real world, which is usually how it is.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, there are superheroes, but I still gotta like pay my taxes and everything. So,
Yeah.
like it doesn't affect the daily life of anyone. And even
Mm.
the people who are superheroes still want to have that secret identity, that normal life. It's like, why?
Yeah.
Why not just be like Alan Moore? Usually in his work,
Mm.
the superheroes really affect the world that they live in, and usually don't have like a secret identity or anything. They're just like, yeah, we're superheroes.
Yeah.
Like, why would we have a secret identity? We're literally gods to y'all. Like, bow down to us. We don't care. Like,
Yeah.
it just doesn't make sense for you to just be Superman one day and then Clark Kent just shuffling down the paperwork.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of problem with anything that tries to bring fantasy into the real world because it's the real world and it's just boring.
Yeah. What? And I think that's my whole thing is like when I watch it, for instance, we watched this movie on Netflix, yesterday called freaking, yeah, I don't know what it's called, but let me check. Let me see if it's on my phone. It's like one of the many new movies they had on Netflix. Netflix is always making new movies.
Yeah.
And
Is it Extraction?
Nah, it's my mom thought like to watch it because on the synopsis it said like witty, insecure, something something, and I guess that made her think of me.
Mm.
And she was just like, "Ooh, look, insecure, Eric." Like, because
What?
it was funny because like I was like, "Mom, like, what made you even think of wanting to watch this movie?" She was like, "Well, the synopsis." And I was like, "Mom, it literally just says like witty and insecure and stuff." Like, thanks, fam.
Is it a Netflix original?
Yes,
It's about superheroes or what?
it's about. It's called The Half of It.
The half of it. Let me see. When a smart but cash-strapped teen, Ellie Chu, agrees to write a love letter for a jock, she doesn't expect him to become his friend or fall for his crush. What?
Yeah, maybe I'm thinking of a different synopsis. I thought it said something about like a witty but insecure. I don't know, but the point is that's like the thing, right?
Yeah.
And the movie's based in real life. And I'm not like huge on movies based in real life, but of course I'll watch them if they're like good,
Yeah.
or if like my mom just says let's watch this movie. So sorry, I keep cleaning my keyboard, but like there's so much dust, and I'm like I can't usually see it, but the way the light is like I can actually see all the dust in my setup, and I'm like, oh god.
I can see the dust on my keyboard. I just don't clean it.
Yeah,
I'm always seeing the dust on my keyboard. I'm just like, that's nice. Clickety
yeah.
clack. Doesn't bother me as much.
It looks like I'm doing something, but I'm not. I'm just rubbing my stomach. But yeah, so
Restricted. No.
huh?
You just got age restricted. No.
Oh, what do you mean? I, I was rubbing my stomach. Oh, my head looks really weird when I look like that.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Focus, Eric, focus. Half of it. So yeah, it's like based on the real world, and the whole thing is like it's exactly what you read. This one girl, she has a crush on this girl in her class, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this guy like has a crush on her too.
Yeah. Okay.
And the guy doesn't know that she likes her, but he asks her to like write like a love letter to the girl for him because she like everyone like pays her to do their papers and stuff in English
Yeah.
because it's a movie. So like everyone just has $50 and like, hey, write my paper.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, you know, so it's like that. And he's like, I don't want you to write my paper. I want you to write like a love letter. And of course, you know, she's all like no at first, and hijinks ensue. And eventually she ends up writing the letters and doing other stuff, all the while making it seem like it's him, but it's not.
Hmm.
She's a lesbian.
Is the girl that she's into also lesbian?
Nah, she's just like not as far as you know as the viewer. She's just like a normal
Oh.
girl, but
Normal.
that
Canceled. You're
yeah,
canceled.
yeah. She's just like you know with the majority, but it's like and anyway, what happens is the guy eventually ends up spoiler alert falling for the lesbian
Oh.
that he doesn't know is a lesbian because the whole time like yeah she's not like I like her, it's just like it's pretty obvious of course to us because we read the you know synopsis,
Yeah.
but also just you know being like a engaged viewer you can tell she clearly likes her, and you have
Yeah.
the inside information of course of like she's the one narrating the movie, so
Hmm.
she like she likes her, you know this.
Yeah.
And the whole thing is like the guy is like, I love her, but he doesn't really love her. He doesn't know her. He's never talked to her.
Oh.
And the girl, she like grew up going to the same church as her. Like they've been in the same circles and stuff.
Uh.
And she really is attracted to her. but she's not at all like ever gonna act on it, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of why she's willing to like write the letters and text for this. She does all this stuff for this dude, and eventually the girl, she falls for not the dude, but like the girl in reality.
Okay.
Like, cause she falls for like the person
Yeah.
she talks to on the phone and the person who like leaves her all the messages and stuff. But that's the girl. That's the other girl.
I got you.
But the whole time the guy's pretending to be it. So the guy gets all the freaking like, all the like dubs. Like he goes on a date with her and he like kisses her and all that stuff. And the whole time he's never actually the one behind anything. But at the end, there's this very like real world. There's like the, come to reality moment where it's like the girl likes the girl who, as far as we know, doesn't really like girls.
Yeah.
The guy likes the girl who likes girls. And the girl who likes the guy turns out that she actually likes the girl, but not the girl physically, but the girl that she was talking to.
Yeah. No, I got it.
Yeah, so it's like a love triangle, but broken. And
So the girl that's not writing the letters, that the guy is smooching.
mm-hmm.
Like, how does that resolve? Like, big spoiler alert, because I'm
Yeah.
probably not this movie, but big spoiler
Yeah.
alert. How does this get resolved?
So it resolves in the guy, after his football game, tries to kiss the lesbian.
Oh, okay.
And she's all like, no, oh, what? Like, what are you doing? And he's like, you don't want me to kiss you? And she's like, no. And then as that happens, like, as he tries to kiss her and like the whole exchange happens, the other girl walks in to the locker room because he had told her, come see me after the game. And that's what she was going to do. And so she, of course, just sees it. She's like runs out. And then they stand there and he realizes finally what's happening. Or like, he realizes that she the whole time cared for the other girl. Because he was like, is it someone else? And she was like, well, like, yeah, like what kind of? And he figured it out,
Yeah.
And he's all like, oh, like, whatever. And what ends up happening is they stay friends.
Okay.
Him and her. She apologizes to the girl who likes the guy or whatever.
Yeah.
The other girl. And okay, so there's this whole scene there. The girl that they liked, right?
Yeah.
She's supposed to the whole time this is happening, she's been dating the popular guy, the most popular guy at the school.
Okay.
Yeah. But
we're getting way too into this synopsis of this movie.
Okay, yeah.
What does it have to do with superheroes?
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. The whole point, what was supposed to be happening is, that movie was really complicated for no reason. Like, it's just, like, it makes sense when you're watching it.
Yeah.
It makes sense when you're watching it, of course, but like to explain it is so like complicated.
It's like, yeah, she's dating him and she's a lesbian, but she's not. But they're.
Yeah, no, like it made sense when I was watching it, but the whole point I was trying to make was just the comparison of that's a real world movie, and you get like a real world resolution. Like it's not like two of them just get together and they're happy and everything's perfect. In reality, it's like the one girl is going off to college, the guy gets like nobody, and the other girl also gets nobody, and it's kind of just like.
But they made a friendship out of it.
So essentially.
Yeah, like I hate movies like that just like they resolve, but not really.
Yeah.
Just, like,
well, but it's not they didn't resolve. It's that's how life. Like they're seniors in high school. Like they're like that's real. That's super real. And that's what we did. Like we all. I mean, we weren't like in a relationship, any of us, but we all like everything we were doing, like went from like top importance in our life, like everything that was going on, to like we all went to college, and everything that was so important became literally like not even part of our life anymore.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the whole thing. It's like this romance, this all of this stuff that's going on just kind of fades because they all have to go like become adults now.
Yeah.
I just think the reason that we don't like that in entertainment is because like it's like we get that in real life.
Yeah.
Like we know like the fun has to end eventually, whatever. Don't show
Yeah.
me that in the movie. Like show me the fun forever. That's the point of the movie.
Yeah. I don't want to watch a movie like Marriage Story. I don't want to watch a movie of two people going through a very muddy divorce where it's just like I don't
Did
want
you
to
watch that movie?
what?
Did you watch it?
I watched part of it, but man, it's too real. I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't
Dude,
want to see this.
I watched the whole movie, and my thing is, I was like at the end, I was just like, please get back together. Like do it for that's my problem. I don't care about this real life crap. I'm shipping this junk. Like get back together.
Nope, they're just like,
Like that scene at the end where like she ties his shoe or whatever. Oh, I guess you didn't watch the whole movie.
I didn't watch the whole movie.
Yeah, like so she gets married to this other guy. He's still like torn up about it, the whole thing.
Yeah.
He sings about it because
Wait,
artsy.
it becomes a musical?
No, it doesn't become a musical. Like it's literally like in the movie, he goes to like a club with a bunch of his other actor friends, and there's a guy playing the piano. Yeah, your video's frozen.
We good?
Yeah,
We
you're
back?
back. Yeah,
Okay, so it doesn't become a musical.
no. So
Okay, that's when we start.
eating a Lego.
You were frozen again. Hold up. It says my internet connection's unstable. All right,
Yeah.
just cut that part out when you're just cut the.
Okay. Oh
All right,
yeah,
but
I can just kind
that's
of.
a musical.
As I was saying, totally uninterrupted by everything. Um. Oh, it's cutting again. Oh, I will wait patiently. Whoa, there's another Garrett. What's happening? Hmm. Hmm.
All right, I think we're good now. I think I figured it out.
Okay.
It shouldn't happen again, but if it does, then I guess we can just like
Keep fixing it.
keep fixing it. But anyway, that's a big chunk to cut out and start back now. And
So yeah, it doesn't become a musical.
no, it
He
doesn't.
sings. He's at the like some restaurant with like a bunch of his actor friends, his theater friends, and they like this piano, and he's like, "Do you mind if I like do a performance?" Because like it's one of those places like it's like open, whatever.
Yeah.
So he goes to do it, sings this fire freaking song about being lonely and being in love and how awesome it is and how he's not, or like how he doesn't have it anymore. And I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah.
And then he goes, and she's moved on with some other guy,
Uh-huh.
and he hasn't. And there's like this whole scene where the son finds the letter that she had written him. They were supposed to read letters to when they were going to mediation when they first got divorced. They're supposed to write letters, all the good things about each other.
Yeah.
So you saw that scene?
I saw the scene where they were reading the letters, and then the wife was like, "No."
Well, that's the thing. She never read it, but so he never knew what it said. But the son had found it,
Uh-huh.
and he was like, "What's this?" And he reads it to the guy, like to the dad,
Yeah.
even though they had already been divorced at that point. So I'm just like, so this is when she breaks up with her current husband to go back to the old husband because he's the OG. But that's not what happened. Instead, it was just kind of like, I guess he got closure that like junk was real. I don't know what the freak happened, but yeah, real world endings.
Yeah. They're a weird one.
Yeah, I think it makes sense that they're weird because it's like in order for a show that's set up in like at least a pseudo realistic world. In reality, if they give us like in order to end it, if the only truly realistic ending is like if the character dies or something.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's like things will continue to progress.
Yeah. There are a bunch of movies where the character just dies at the end, like the main character.
Yeah, and I hate those. Those are my least favorite movies of all.
Really?
Yeah, like any movie where the main character dies at the end, I hate it. I already hate it. Don't like it.
Really?
Yeah.
Some of the best movies have that ending. I won't spoil any of them, obviously, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
My thing
I
is
feel
like,
it doesn't disqualify it from being a good movie for me.
yeah, I think the art of like a good ending, if you wanted to like try to understand it or like look at it, the perfect ending of a movie or a really good one could be like Inception.
Yeah.
I mean,
It
that's
just
like that's grade A ending.
Yeah.
Because the second it ends, you're like, so like, so they posted on a forum like, what happens, right? Like, did it fall down? Did it fall over? And then everybody's like, we don't know, and you're like,
Yeah. It's terrible. I love that ending though. I don't know. I think it was a dream. It was probably a dream, right?
Nah, dog, no, get the freak out of here.
It could like there are so many like points and counterpoints to that argument,
Yeah,
and it's like it's a legitimate debate as to whether it was a dream or not.
yeah, that could be a whole podcast episode within and of itself.
Honestly, yeah, it could be. But since we disagree, it'll actually be interesting. So yes, I'm on Team Dream.
Yeah, I'm a team not dream, and mine is purely for the fact that I want it to work out. Like I hate in movies. It's like stuff's supposed to work out. It's supposed to go well at the end. Like don't
Yeah.
make me a freaking movie about the guy who got cancer and died. It's like that's how it be. We know that.
That's how it really be. Give them cancer and then give them superpowers.
Yeah, or I mean, yeah, that's an extreme. But it's like, like 50-50 is a movie where the guy gets cancer. It's a whole thing, but does it kill him?
Yeah.
I don't believe it does. I think he goes into remission. And it's like, I don't know. I get that like there's like realistic stuff, like there's a real world. Things aren't always like rainbows and sunshine.
Yeah.
But I watch movies and read books to get away from the real world.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't watch a movie to sit down and be like, show me the worst of the real world.
Yeah.
Lay it on me, Remind me why life sucks.
Yes, but that's exactly what BoJack Horseman does. It just does it with silly characters and stuff. Well, I guess the ending isn't very silly, or like isn't very
But the thing about that is, it's still funny. Like I think the nature of the show is it makes you see like real sad situations and real problems, but you don't emotionally like it doesn't weigh you down or anything because it's funny. It's told in a funny, lighthearted way, almost satirical sense. So you're like, oh yes, like like the whole episode arc where they're at rehab. Yeah. Maybe if you're someone who's been through rehab or knows someone who's been through that, it could be more personal. But for someone just a casual viewer, it's just like, like I can imagine that's a trope. Like everyone knows the "Hi, my name is whatever" trope. I mean, like it's like it's both really deep, but it's like at the same time, most people were only kind of treading at that surface level.
Yeah.
And we look for depth in other things. Like I think some episodes are just deep. Like the episodes, like at the very end, like the one where he's like drowning or whatever,
Yeah.
and like the whole curtain call thing, and they're like everyone's like singing their song, then jumping into the freaking like darkness,
Yeah.
and like that whole scene where he's all like what's after, what's next, or like whatever the freak say, I'm not ready for what's next. And the guy's like, what do you mean, Bojack? There is nothing next. And he like jumps
Yeah.
in. And I'm just like, oh, I'm not
Oh,
sleeping tonight.
yeah.
Yeah, whatever. It's like there's stuff like that. And you could take an episode like that and like sit down and have scholarly debates about it, like for a long time.
Yeah.
But then you could also just be like, BoJack Horseman funny though.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah. We talked about basically the same things we talked about last episode and this episode.
Did we?
I think so. Did we bring up BoJack Horseman last episode?
I don't know.
Maybe. It's a possibility that we did. Possibility.
Yeah.
But I am now making dollars. Delivery.
Oh, DoorDash, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you done it yet?
Yeah. I've done 20 deliveries. Let's see. I can check my analytics.
How long have you been doing it, dog?
I've done 19 deliveries. 3 days.
Hey, how much money have you made? Have you made any money?
Yeah, I've made I mean, we can talk exacts after, but yeah, I've made dollars, some money. Some people don't tip. And that's the main reason why I brought this up. Is please tip your DoorDash people, like, or your Grubhub people, or your waiter people, or your Bite Squad people. Just tip them, because they're like, that's like 50% of the money that I make, or even more sometimes. Some days when I do it, or when I've done it.
Yeah.
Like, that's most of my money that I'm making is off of tips. And if I don't get a tip, it's really just gas money.
Yeah.
Yeah. So please tip your DoorDash people, especially when you, like, I know that we're in like a pandemic and like it's social distancing time and some people are getting laid off, or like, money might be tight for some people, some families. Yeah. But if you're ordering $60 worth of food from a pretty nice restaurant and I deliver it to your house and you have like a nice 2-story house in a pretty expensive part of the area, like yeah. I mean, you're ordering $60 worth of food for, first of all.
Yeah.
And like, I know that you can afford to pay me more than $0.
Yeah.
In tips. Like, come on. That just hits me personally. It's like, dog, like, come on.
Yeah. I think it's the same. It's like in reality, like when you get something like a delivery service, I mean, it's like you tip a waiter. Would you tip a waiter? Like, yeah. So you tip, like, I think it's kind of like, it just makes sense.
Yeah, you tip a waiter, you tip a DoorDasher,
Because in reality, when you look at what a DoorDash or any delivery driver,
yeah, Grubhub waiter,
look at how many people statistically die in a car crash versus walking from the kitchen to your table. Like, it's like, even though obviously restaurants aren't that dangerous, it's like every delivery driver is inherently taking more of a risk driving around on the roads. So, I mean, I know that's like kind of like a more like people probably don't think of that.
Yeah.
I think of that because I'm like, it's a real fact that like, I don't like to drive around a lot. I'm always like, what if I get in a car crash?
Yeah.
It's like, as a delivery driver, it's your job to be on the road.
Yeah.
So it's like I literally like, it's like I maneuvered for you, dog. Like I went to the restaurant. I got you the grub. I brought it here. You'll tip a waiter who doesn't even like, refill your drink but once. And you'll tip them out of I think the whole thing is people, when there's not that accountability, people are more comfortable tipping nothing,
Yeah.
Because they're just on their phone and they're putting through the order and it's like tip and they're like, ah. But even if your waiter's trash, they're rude, or they don't come back much. Like typically it's like they're not rude, but they just might refill your drink once, like an hour and a half meal. You're still going to tip them, like, just because, I mean, they still, you know, you're
Yeah.
gonna be like, I mean, they still refilled it once.
Yeah. It's just what you do because that's where their pay comes from.
Yeah,
If you saw their face, like that's another thing. Is like when a waiter comes up to you, like you see their face, you recognize them as a person.
yeah,
When you use like any kind of delivery service, you don't get to see me or like
yeah,
anyone really. You're just like click, 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 cheapest option.
yeah,
And like out of my 19 deliveries, only 3 people haven't tipped. So it's like it's not a bad ratio or whatever. Like it's not a huge problem. But like
yeah,
still, like I would like because if I don't accept it, that's another thing that people don't realize with
mm,
DoorDash. If I don't accept it, that's a penalty on my account. Like
huh.
if there's no tip, if there's a large tip, if there's whatever, if it comes up on my phone and I don't hit accept, that's a penalty on my account.
So how
So
does
I
that
get
work? Like
it's like
basics, give me the basics.
it's like so I'll have the app open, right? And like it'll tell me like where I'm going or whatever. And then once I'm done with that delivery, 5 minutes or 10 minutes later, it'll prompt me, hey, pick up this other delivery. Here's the pay that you'll be getting, and here's the amount of time it'll take you, or whatever. Or like, here's the distance that you have to go. And even if I see like 0 tip, if I don't hit accept, my account gets penalized and I don't look as good to DoorDash. So like I can't qualify for certain promotions or like sometimes I guess I won't qualify for like peak pay hours or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Basically where they just add to your delivery pay.
Mm.
Like aside from the tip, they just add to your delivery pay because a lot of orders are coming in and they need the help during that
Yeah,
time. So they incentivize you with the peak pay. So like if I don't accept that order, even if it has 0 tip, I get penalized for that.
yeah,
So like, when you do 0 tip, you're kind of like almost doubling down on the fact that you don't really want me to like deliver your food apparently. Or
yeah,
like because like if you do 0 tip, I still have to accept that junk. You're either giving me 0 tip or I get a penalty on my account. It
yeah,
doesn't seem fair, but it's just the way that the app works. And then
yeah.
another thing is that if the restaurant doesn't have the food like
Mm.
prepared, or like if they don't even like one guy, I went up there and they're like, yeah, sorry, we don't have the food for this order. I get penalized for that
Mm.
on my account.
Yeah, that's dumb.
So it's because there's no when you cancel an order, there's nowhere to say, hey, they didn't have the food. There's always like, how is this your fault?
Yeah,
And then you just like have to click an option. It's just
yeah,
like there are little things like that about the job that I'm just like, come on, like this isn't. I understand now why like it's not that great of a service yet because it's such a new thing.
yeah.
But
Well, I
I
think also, you know, every business pretty much it's modeled that way, where it's like when something goes wrong, they're typically not going to look to the employee. I mean, they're not going to look to the customer and say like problem, problem, problem.
yeah,
Because the whole thing is like the company's objective is to make money. They want to make the user experience for the person giving them money as easy as possible. The person they're paying, on the other hand, they're like, nah, I
yeah,
think, stuff like that, it becomes really apparent. But it's like, in reality, that's how it is at any kind of job.
yeah,
Like if you work like a restaurant and someone complains about the way you made the food, then you made the food wrong. You know,
yeah,
you could be like, nah, like I did it right, and they're gonna be like, well, guess what?
yeah,
Karen says you didn't, and she's
yeah,
the one who pays us. Therefore, she's the one who pays me. Therefore, she's the one who pays you. Therefore, you're wrong.
yeah,
So I think with something like that, when they're designing the flow of everything, and they have to choose between putting responsibility on the driver or the customer, they're not going to they're going to want to minimize the customer's responsibility,
yeah.
which unfortunately means maximizing you guys' responsibility.
I understand that, but it's neither my responsibility nor the customer's responsibility to get like to actually get the food. Like
Yeah.
it's the worker at the restaurant's responsibility, and they have no like like Grubhub or DoorDash or waiter doesn't have any jurisdiction over whether or not McDonald's worker number 4 or
Yeah.
like whatever can get this order ready if like the ice cream machine is broken or something.
Well, that's my
Like,
point, though. I'm saying, like, at a large scale level, DoorDash has to negotiate, you know, aggressively to secure restaurants that support their service in the first place.
yeah,
And once they secure a restaurant, they're like, oh, thank God. Now we need to get the food from this restaurant to the people.
yeah,
Like I'm saying, from a business perspective, like you said, they can exert no control over the restaurant,
yeah,
but who they can exert control over is you guys. So it's like any other system where you're serving people or the corporation, you have to bend over backwards to make sure that everything looks good.
yeah.
And that exact reason that you're describing is the reason I'm all like, I don't want to get a job.
Yeah, I will say one of those food delivery services, I don't know, I can't speak for any of them other than the one that I work for, DoorDash.
Mm.
Those food delivery
Which I
services,
love, by the way.
yeah, which like honestly, it's a great place. Like I love working for them. Like
Mm.
I worked for fast food, obviously, you know that. I worked at Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Like I hated it there. But like with DoorDash, they're really all said and done, they're really good to their drivers and they're really like they're good to their customers too. What my
Mm.
main complaint is that customers don't tip.
Yeah.
And there's no option when you cancel an order to put it on anyone but yourself, which I don't really agree with.
Well, they probably do that because the amount of times the restaurants mess up is probably lower than the
Yeah,
amount of times that a driver might want to get out of their response. Like,
yeah,
because they don't want, a bunch of drivers who like accept an order and then they're all like, oh, what? You want to hang out now? All right. Food.
yeah,
Oh, they didn't have the food. Like,
yeah, yeah. It makes sense on like a larger scale, but this particular time they
yeah,
really
it was
didn't
just,
have
yeah.
the food.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I mean, I like working for them. They're a great company.
Mhm.
I just wish people would understand that I make my money off of tips. DoorDash themselves doesn't pay me all that much. I
Yeah.
make my money when you tip me.
Mm.
That's pretty much it. But yeah, I like the job so far. It's pretty good. I can set my own hours. It's very flexible.
Yeah.
DoorDash, please don't fire me for things that I've said. These
Yeah.
are constructive criticisms. I'm not trying to like put you on blast.
Yeah.
Um, the faceless corporation. But yeah, it's it's weird too because like a lot of people don't agree with like DoorDashers being out right now because it's like coronavirus central, honestly.
Mhm.
But my thing is like I'm minimizing, or me and other drivers are minimizing the people's contact
Yeah.
with more people. So
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I'm minimizing the spread more than I'm maximizing it. I don't know. Maybe I'm being just a ding dong about it. But like the people that I order food to,
Mhm.
a lot of them don't even come in contact with me.
Yeah.
And like the paper is like the paper on the bag isn't gonna hold the I don't know, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I feel like I'm minimizing the spread, but a lot of people are making the argument that I'm part of the problem going around and like interacting with all these people. But I wear a face mask. I'm very careful when I like interact with
Yeah.
people that stay 6 feet away.
Plus, why is I like there's really that doesn't make sense because at the end of the day, people saying like you guys like, you're contributing or whatever. I mean, at the end of the day, people are gonna do what they're gonna do. Anyone
Yeah,
who's been on the roads has seen ever since the lockdown was in order. Like there were still plenty of people on the roads. There
yeah,
were still people going about. People still need to eat.
yeah,
People still need toiletries. People still need things. In the same way, a Postmates person who can go get some toilet paper, whatever people need. People still need stuff. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like everyone, most families eat out a lot. Most families like it's not like they just have maybe the ability to just cook every night, you know?
Yeah.
Not saying even financially, but just like mom and dad don't know how to chef it up, you know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
everyone's tired of eating freaking chicken nuggies, you know? So, you know, you gotta get some takeout or some whatever. And I think it's like wherever I'm like, if there's demand for the service, then it's like it shouldn't be like people shouldn't complain about it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like you said, you're it's one person going to the restaurant instead of say like a family of four, you know, or
Yeah.
whatever. And
No,
that just minimizes the chances for cross contamination and stuff.
yeah. So I'm comfortable with this just to like put it out there if anyone's gonna complain. That's my stance on it. And I guess
Yeah,
that's what too is like I feel like I'm minimizing it.
yeah.
But we are pushing an hour. I believe we may be a little bit over an hour. So
All right,
well, it's time to wrap up this episode.
all righty.
Thank you to all the essential workers. And I guess, food delivery people, because some people don't tip, and I know how crappy that can be. To just stick it out, and there you go. That's my PSA for the day.
Yeah, I'll make sure to tip when I like order. Cause I've never ordered food delivery, but
Yeah.
I didn't even know tipping was part of it. I thought like the delivery fee was calculated.
No, tip is definitely part of it.
Oh well.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll stop